For this ornament, I will be using a 4.5mm crochet hook, and you need a crochet needle, some scissors, and the yarn I'm using is polyester and cotton cording. It's a 1.5mm. So if you're looking for cording on the internet, you'll usually see it in 1, 1.5, 2, and 3mm, and sometimes you will also see it in 5. So this is the 1.5, so just keep that in mind for size. If you get a different millimeter cording, then your size will be different, or you might need to use a bigger hook. And then I'm going to be using this ball ornament to make the cover. And we will start with a magic circle. Then we will put, for row 1, 8 half double crochets inside the magic circle. Take your tail, close your magic circle nice and tight, and slip stitch to the first half double crochet stitch, and that is row 1. For row 2, we will chain 1. We're going to do increases in all 8 stitches, so put 2 half double crochets in each stitch. I'm going to continue all the way around till they get to the end of the row. When you get to the end of row 2, you should have 16 stitches. Slip stitch to the first stitch, and that's the end of row 2. And I'm going to cut this tail. For row 3, chain 1. At this point, we are no longer going to join our rounds. We're going to leave an open side so that we can wrap it around the ornament. So after you chain 1, turn your work. I'm going to go in the opposite direction. And for row 3, we will do a half double crochet in the first stitch and an increase in the next stitch. So put 2 half double crochets in the next one. And repeat that pattern of 1 half double crochet and an increase until you get to the end of row 3. At the end of row 3, you should have 24 stitches. And now we will chain 1, turn our work, and we will do a half double crochet in the first stitch, half double crochet in the second stitch, and an increase in the third. Repeat that pattern of half double crochet, a half double crochet, and an increase. Continue that pattern till you get to the end of row 4. At the end of row 4, you should have 32 stitches. Chain 1, turn your work. For row 5, we're not going to do any increases. We're going to do 4 rows with no increases in it, but we are going to do a different stitch. So we're going to do a half double crochet, a slip stitch in the next stitch, and then just keep repeating half double crochet and slip stitch. And do that until you get to the end of the row. At the end of row 5, your last stitch will be a slip stitch, and you should have 32 stitches in row 5. Chain 1, turn your work. For row 6, it's just going to be a half double crochet in every stitch. So just continue the half double crochets all the way around. At the end of row 6, you will have 32 stitches. Chain 1, turn your work. For row 7, we will do the same thing that we did for row 5. Half double crochet and slip stitch alternating. Alternate your half double crochets and slip stitches till you get to the end of the round. At the end of row 7, you will have 32 stitches. Chain 1, turn your work. For row 8, it's going to be a row of half double crochets, just like row 6. So just put a half double crochet in every stitch. At the end of row 8, you should have 32 stitches. And now we are going to start to decrease so that we can bring this smaller till it gets to the top. So we're basically just going to take what we did from row 4 down, and we're going to go in the opposite direction to where these have 32 stitches and those have 24, 16, and 8. We're going to get back to 24 stitches, 16 stitches, and then 8 stitches. If your ornament ball is larger than this, then you will need to do more increase rows and probably more solid number rows as well. So for row 9, we're going to chain 1, turn, and to get to 24 stitches, we're going to do a half double crochet in the first 2 stitches, and then we're going to do a decrease in the next 2. So yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through. You have 4 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 4, and that is a half double crochet decrease. So you're basically taking 4 stitches and turning it into 3. So at the end of the row, each pattern of 2 half double crochets and a decrease will reduce your total number by 1 each. So repeat that pattern, half double crochet, half double crochet, and a decrease. I'm going to repeat that pattern all the way to the end of the row. And the last stitches in row 9 will be decrease stitches. When you get to the end of row 9, you should have 24 stitches. For row 10, chain 1, turn your work, and we are going to go down to 16 stitches for this row. So put a half double crochet in the first stitch and then do a decrease and repeat that. Half double crochet and decrease. At the end of row 10, you should have 16 stitches, and the last stitch will be a decrease. Chain 1, turn. For row 11, we're going to do decreases in every stitch. When you get to the end of row 11, you will have 8 stitches. And if you have been turning your work after each row, then you need to turn it back to where you've got the row that has the half double crochet slip stitch alternating, that it is poking out, because that's the pattern that you want sticking out. So at this point, we'll take our ornament and put it inside our little pocket and close it up and cut a really long tail for weaving in. Take your hook over to the first stitch in that last row and do a slip stitch. Pull it all the way through. Tighten that up. I'm going to weave this through the side to kind of sew it up. But first, I am going to add a little charm. I've got these 2024 charms that I'm going to put on there. And I'm putting it on backwards because when I go to weave this in, it will flip it around. So I just put that on backwards, and then I come into the same side that I ended the row with. And just go from one side to the next, sewing that up. And when I pull that, it should flip that 2024 back the other way. And then just keep going back and forth until you have the whole side sewed up. And when you get to the end, just weave your cording around the bottom to kind of hide your tail, just so it's nice and tight. This cording is really stiff, so it does not come unraveled very easily. And then cut that off. And then I'm going to add a decorative ornament hook. And that's all there is to it.